The crisp December air carried the scent of pine and wood smoke as I hammered the last private property sign into the frozen ground along Old Mill Lake. I'd just closed on 40 acres of forgotten Ohio land, complete with crumbling 1890s mill ruins and 15 acres of spring-fed water, for a steal at a tax auction. $15,000. My fresh start after a brutal divorce had left me with little more than my grandfather's old farmhouse and 20 years of electrician know-how. I pictured a small fishing guide business, maybe a few tiny home rentals. Peace. Quiet. Control. I didn't expect the neighborhood to treat my property like their private park. The first confrontation came fast. I was still walking the boundaries when voices drifted from the mill ruins. 20 or so people sat in folding chairs like it was outdoor church. At the center stood Dolores Whitmore, 58, perfectly bleached hair, real estate agent, 8-year president of the Willowbrook Estates HOA. Her white Lexus with the blessed plates was parked like she owned the place. She held a clipboard and spoke with the syrupy confidence of someone who'd never been told no. "This year's Christmas Lake Festival will be our biggest hit," she announced. "Morden always loved seeing families enjoy this special place." I cleared my throat. "Excuse me, folks. I'm Garrett Thornfield. I bought this property yesterday." Silence hit like a dropped plate. 20 pairs of eyes turned. Dolores's smile froze. "Oh," she said. "You must be the new owner. Morden always let us use this space. I'm sure you'll honor that arrangement." I tried to be reasonable. "I appreciate the tradition, but I'm planning a business here. I need to control access, for insurance, liability, all that." The gasp from the crowd sounded like I had canceled Christmas. Parents whispered about ruined holidays. Teenagers rolled their eyes. Dolores stepped closer, close enough I could smell her overpowering perfume over the wood smoke. "You're new here, honey," she said, the word dripping like venom. "You'll learn how things work. We take care of each other. We honor traditions." I backed toward my truck. She delivered the parting shot wrapped in small-town politeness. "We'll see about that, honey. We'll just see." The next morning, I posted basic no trespassing signs around the main access points. 20 minutes of work. I left for the hardware store. Came back 2 hours later to find every sign torn down and floating in the lake like sad confetti. There stood Dolores, flanked by 2 police officers, looking like she'd just caught me robbing a bank. "There he is," she said, clutching her purse. "The one disturbing our community traditions." Officer Reginald Murphy, thick mustache, hand on his belt, stepped forward. "Sir, we've received complaints about you harassing community members." I pointed at the ruined signs drifting on the water. "Harassing? Someone destroyed my property. Those signs were disturbing the peace," Dolores chimed in. Murphy nodded like she'd quoted scripture. "Maybe you should reconsider your approach, Mr. Thornfield. Learn how things work in our community." They left me standing in diesel fumes and cold air with a warning about maintaining community harmony. Translation: do what Dolores wants or else. The citation blitz began days later. Improper vehicle storage, my truck on my own land. Unauthorized material storage, lumber for dock repairs. Unpermitted signage, replacement no trespassing signs that somehow violated community aesthetic standards. Each carried a $150 fine and a mandatory appearance before the town council, where, naturally, Dolores sat as the community representative. I'd been pushed around enough. 20 years as an electrician taught me that people who try to screw you over usually have something to hide. So I went digging. The county courthouse basement smelled of musty files and burnt coffee. I spent hours squinting at microfiche and yellow deeds. My grandfather used to say, "When someone's trying to steal from you, check the paperwork twice." In those dusty records, I found the original 1890 deed, handwritten, ornate, and loaded with language that made my pulse race. Mineral and water rights in perpetuity. All access routes necessary for said rights. Then came the professional boundary survey. $1,200 I could barely afford. The surveyor's laser pinged across the frozen ground. When he finished, he muttered, "Well, I'll be damned." The access road everyone used to reach their lakefront homes. It crossed my property for 200 yards. Dolores's dock extended 8 feet onto my underwater land. Every car, every dock, every manicured lawn touching that road, trespassing. I installed trail cameras among the pines. Within 48 hours I had gold. Dolores bringing real estate clients, gesturing grandly toward my property while selling exclusive community lake access as a premium feature. Teenagers dumping beer cans after midnight bonfires. One kid urinating on the mill ruins while friends cheered. And Dolores herself, walking her prissy little dog along my restored shoreline. The dog squatted right in my new wildflower bed. She looked straight at the camera, gave that fake smile, and walked away without cleaning it up. The irony was thick enough to spread on toast. Someone reported me for disturbing wildlife habitat because I'd been cleaning up their trash. My insurance company was blunt. "Sir, if you allow unauthorized public use, your coverage is void. One drowning lawsuit, and you lose everything." Then came the certified letter from the State Environmental Agency. Someone claimed I was planning a massive marina with hotel and restaurant facilities that would destroy local wildlife. Completely fabricated. My cousin Rebecca, 15 years fighting corporate polluters, read the complaint and laughed. "Filing false information with a government agency? That's a felony." The survey results kept getting better. Not only did the road cross my land, but Dolores's dock sat on my submerged property. Every lakefront homeowner had been trespassing for years, assuming Morton's neighborly permission created legal rights. Assumption, as my grandfather said, is the mother of all screw-ups. Public records told the rest of the story. Over 5 years, Dolores sold 12 lakefront homes. Every listing bragged about exclusive community lake access and private waterfront amenities. Buyers paid $20,000 to $40,000 extra per home for something she didn't own. Quick math, roughly $350,000 in fraudulent premiums. She was already on probation with the State Real Estate Board. 2 prior sanctions for misrepresenting property features. One more violation and her license was gone forever. She escalated to full warfare. Flyers appeared overnight. "Save our lake! Public forum on preserving community access." Thursday night at the community center. She painted me as a corporate developer planning to destroy beloved family traditions and cancel Christmas. Nobody wants to be the Grinch. While she organized her public lynching, I talked to real neighbors. Plenty were sick of her 8-year reign of terror. Tom Kowalski cornered me at the gas station. "That woman's been measuring grass with a ruler and fighting people for Christmas decorations. Some of us are ready for revolution." Then came the phone call that changed everything. Travis Morton, nephew of the previous owner. He had a box of his uncle's papers nobody bothered to examine. Inside were handwritten notes documenting years of abuse, property damage, liability nightmares, and broken promises. Morton had been planning to revoke access before he died. His insurance company had pressured him for years to restrict public use. One drowning or injury lawsuit, and he'd lose everything. The final piece arrived in the original 1890 mill deed. Not a copy. The actual handwritten document, ink faded to the color of dried blood. One paragraph stopped my coffee cold. The lake wasn't natural. It was artificial, created by damming Mill Creek. Downstream landowners bore proportional responsibility for dam maintenance and structural integrity. Old Mill Lake held back 15 acres of water directly above Willowbrook Estates. The dam, 130 years old, was the only thing keeping millions of gallons from turning their neighborhood into a swimming pool. I hired Pete Kowalski, a retired county engineer, to inspect it. He came back grim. This thing's held together by prayers and good intentions. Major concrete cracks, tree root damage, erosion undermining the foundation. One heavy storm season and it lets go. A 20-foot wall of water at highway speed. Emergency repairs. Minimum $180,000. Full reconstruction. $300,000 or more. And the downstream owners paid every penny. Ohio law was crystal clear. Dolores had spent weeks demanding rights to my property while sitting on a liability that could bankrupt them all. Sunday night before the state inspection, someone cut my electrical lines. My farmhouse went dark. The smell of burned insulation filled the air. My truck wouldn't start. Sugar in the gas tank. Every trail camera repositioned to face the sky, memory cards wiped. Professional job. Anonymous flyers appeared on every car in town. Protect our families from dangerous outsiders. A telephoto shot of me near the dam looking sinister. Garrett Thornfield threatens to destroy the dam protecting our children. He wants to flood our neighborhood unless we pay millions in extortion. I borrowed Travis's truck and arrived as Inspector Davidson pulled up. Dolores made her grand entrance flanked by 6 HOA board members. She handed him a thick folder of documented safety violations and inflammatory statements. She claimed I'd threatened to open the spillway myself. Davidson examined the structure with methodical precision. This dam is in immediate danger of catastrophic failure, he announced. I'm recommending emergency action. Dolores overplayed her hand. We've contacted the mayor about using eminent domain to seize this property for public safety. Clearly, this man is incapable of responsible ownership. Davidson frowned at photos she presented. Fresh motor oil stains and damaged vegetation. Ma'am, when were these taken? Just yesterday morning. He pulled out his own preliminary shots. Because I took these when I arrived. These stains appear fresh, like they were placed recently. Motor oil doesn't create this pattern unless poured from above. I mentioned my backup solar-powered cameras, hidden in different locations. Dolores went from pale to green. The footage was devastating. Timestamp: 2:47 a.m. Sunday night. A figure in dark clothing pouring motor oil near the shoreline. The same figure uprooting native plants I'd spent weeks establishing. The infrared caught the white Lexus parked on the access road. Lisa Morgan whispered, "That's Tyler Whitmore, Dolores' grandson." Dolores shrieked, "This is fabricated. Anyone can fake digital video these days." Davidson turned to her. "Are you suggesting this homeowner fabricated footage of your grandson committing vandalism on his own property?" She dialed 911 right there in front of 30 witnesses and a state inspector. "Emergency! There's a dangerous man at Old Mill Lake threatening to destroy our dam. He has explosives. Send every unit." Silence. Inspector Davidson pulled out his phone. "Dispatch, this is State Inspector Davidson. Cancel that emergency call. No explosives, no threats. This appears to be a false report. Filing a false emergency report in front of a government official is a felony. Father Ben Murphy, Officer Murphy's younger brother, and a man of genuine integrity, step forward. Mrs. Whitmore, perhaps it's time to step back and let the professionals handle this." Dolores' final meltdown came at the Christmas Lake Festival. She stood in her red coat and scarf like a department store display, microphone squealing. "We're here to save our beloved tradition from those who would destroy it for profit." She pointed at me. "Garrett Thornfield bought this property intending to destroy our way of life. He's threatened to flood our neighborhood unless we pay millions in extortion. County Prosecutor Williams took the microphone. We have evidence of organized harassment, filing false reports, and witness intimidation. Mrs. Whitmore, you're under investigation for real estate fraud, filing false reports, and conspiracy to deprive civil rights. I strongly suggest you consult an attorney. The crowd erupted. Homeowners demanded answers about their purchases. Others wanted to know about the damn liability. I took the mic last. I never wanted to be anyone's enemy. This place is beautiful. Your traditions matter. I'm proposing formal easement agreements, continued lake access with proper maintenance, insurance, reasonable fees, and shared responsibility. Your children can still learn to fish here. We can still have Christmas festivals. But we're going to do it legally, safely, and sustainably. The applause started slow, then built like an avalanche. Within 48 hours, the HOA board voted Dolores out unanimously. Tom Kowalski became interim president and signed a formal easement agreement. Dolores pled guilty to filing false reports, paid $15,000 in restitution, lost her real estate license permanently, and moved to Florida. The dam repairs finished ahead of schedule and under budget. I designed an automated monitoring system that sent weekly reports to every downstream homeowner. My fishing guide business took off. Tiny home rentals stayed booked solid. Property values rose 15% in 6 months. A community garden started on a corner of my land. The Morton Blackwood Environmental Scholarship sent 2 local kids to college each year to study environmental science. On warm summer evenings, I sit on the restored dock, watching families fish, kids laughing, parents relaxing, knowing their investments are protected by real legal agreements instead of clipboard tyranny. Sometimes standing up to a bully doesn't just save yourself. It frees everyone they've been terrorizing for years.